Hi guys, welcome back for another video. My name is Brenda Nyawara. So nice to be back in this space. It's been maybe 5-6 months since I last posted. Yeah, 5-6 months. I've been very busy with work, with school also, and just trying to find time to fit YouTube back into my schedule has been very hard. For the past 3 months, I've been trying to find at least time within my week to shoot and to edit has been almost impossible. I'm still trying to see how I can work through it. Maybe an hour in the evening. But most times, because of how my day goes, the evening hours are already, number one, extended. And then number two, I'm too tired to even come online to shoot. This second half of the year, I'm planning to try to be a bit consistent because I love this space. I actually do. I miss the times when I would shoot, edit, post online and just have this creative outlet. My work also is very creative. I'm an architect. I draw buildings, design buildings. So that's one angle of, creativity. But the video editing bit was also something I was so into at that time. It brought me so much joy. I don't know why I kind of let it take the back seat. Now, last weekend, I saw a hashtag on Twitter that really pulled me back. And I was like, I have to grab my camera. Kenya versus USA. And guys were just throwing tweets back and forth. Although this one was like one-sided. I think the Americans were asleep. It gave me nostalgia because one of my highest, the video with the highest views is Kenya versus Nigeria. There's also Kenya versus Uganda, which is just jokes back and forth. That was like probably a year and a half ago. And I missed that kind of, fun things on Twitter because most times nowadays about, oh my God, what's going on with the government or the economy or just disaster. A lot of things are just negative. And if we can get back to a space where people are just making jokes and sharing and moving on with life, that's what I would want to get back to. So I wanted to talk about that hashtag for today, Kenya versus the USA. But the thing is, I don't think Americans even saw the hashtag. I don't think so. For real, I think this was only trending in Kenya. I don't think it was trending in the US because I didn't really see so many responses. The ones I saw were some Kenyans who actually now jumped ship and were tweeting on behalf of the US. And then just a few, comebacks, but not the kind of, proper roasting that will come from the US. I know it's all jokes anyway. None of this is real. Some could be. And even the ones I chose for today, I had to sieve through a lot of topics that I don't want to cover on this channel. Obviously, when it comes to the US, any banter or roasting against them is going to touch on, their inter-country interactions with other countries on the other far end of the planet. It's not a light matter to joke about. Also, I wasn't really trying to laugh about jokes on gender preferences, or body sizes. That's not that's not a joke. That's a dig and that's mean. So I tried to just sieve out through those ones and I found that the jokes were not so, there weren't so many. I don't know, Kenyans on Twitter, I think you guys are kind of slacking a bit. I remember when these hashtags would come up and the jokes would be so intense that you would actually just find yourself laughing out loud. It's like guys either retired from Twitter or people just, have slacked in the recent times. But let me just cover a few of them for the sake of, old time's sake. And just a disclaimer, I'm Kenyan, so I'm obviously going to, ride for my country. None of this is supposed to be in any way very personal to the US. I mean, it's a great country by all means. Yeah. And it's not even in a way to divide people because we all know everyone wants to, unite the world. So while we're joking about these things, really, it's supposed to just bring people together. In no way are we competing. In no way are we trying to compare. It's just memes for the internet. So Kili346 says Kenya's 4th president versus America's 4th president, and that's a big dig, considering that their 4th president was probably like almost 200 years ago. Wait. Magic Mike says the US, after finding out Kenya ruled them for 8 years, and people kept on insisting that Obama was Kenyan and that he ruled the US for 8 years while he was Kenyan. No, he's an American. He's an American. Yes, but he's very Kenyan also. Don Mwamiez is a betrayer because he has a Kenyan flag on his handle, but he's tweeting on behalf of the US. Dude, choose a side. He was posting about Nairobi CBD versus Washington DC. Dude. Washington DC has over 250 years ahead of us. Can't compare the two. And Nairobi CBD actually has improved lately. I'm not saying it's the best, but it has improved lately. Director Tiger says, but Americans knew they wouldn't win a war against people raised like this. This image of this child strapped onto a tiger is probably how most Kenyans on Twitter were raised, because the violence is a lot. Maitre, oh my god, the names, was posting about a rapper in Kenya versus a slapper in the US. And the rapper in Kenya is Nyashinsky, if you never heard of it. Wait. Nyashinsky, yeah. I'm confusing with the DJ Shinsky. Versus a slapper, Chris Brown. Klaus says Game of Thrones versus Game of Loans, and for real, oh my god, our president and loans, oh my god. All of our presidents and loans. Gatuha says, hey Americans, this is Moyale, one of our slowest growing urban areas. And if anyone is outside the country, yes, that is Moyale, our smallest town. But all of you Kenyans know very well. That's our capital city, Nairobi. Adele says Kenyan male rapper versus American male rapper. And it's Steve Simple Boy versus Drake. Come on. I love Steve Simple Boy. I love him. I love his music. I love his confidence, despite all the jokes guys make online about him. Michael Kimani says Americans wondering why Africa is in Kenya or Nairobi. And for sure, I need more Americans to not say I'm going to Africa. Specify the city, because even a country is too large for you to say I'm going to a country. Don again says Nairobi City patrol vehicles versus Washington DC patrol car. Don, you better be in Washington. Because if you find you on the streets of Nairobi tweeting against us. Gatuha again says this is a beautiful public transport bus in Kenya, but Americans can't relate. Okay, I have reserves about this because okay, you can call it art, but public transport ideally should be more safe than impressive. And for me, my experience with these buses has never been a good one. They are always loud. Some are known to be overspeeding. Some have really put people at risk. And I like the new electric ones that have come up. Simple. It's Khalid says scarecrow in Kenya versus scarecrow in America. Come on. That's mean. That's really mean. KOT Alchemist says Elon Musk trying to disconnect all Kenyans on Twitter's accounts. How random that the tweet limit actually came up. The Twitter limit came up just after this hashtag. And I know it must have come up like way before, but what perfect timing. Manu KE says Musk limiting posts Kenyans can read so that we may lose the Twitter war. And I'm right? Because I really feel like, okay, yeah, it had nothing to do with Twitter war, but I know that limiting tweets was such a, it's a backward step in my opinion. Billy says Kenyans losing the way they started after realizing that they are engaging themselves. Yeah, because Americans did not reply. Surprisingly. That's why I began by saying I don't think Americans saw the hashtag because it must have been trending in Kenya but not the US. There was hardly any replies. Claude says Kenya is attacking USA for no apparent reason. Actually, yeah, there was no reason. I tried to find the source of the hashtag. There was really no reason. Really. Wikili says a rare picture of a US sheriff, and that's not true. That's actually a Kenyan guy. Storm Zero says Kenyans during the Kenya versus USA, saying English is not responding. But wait a minute. Kenyans are actually one of the best English speakers in the world. despite the fact that English is most likely our second language, third or fourth, those of us who speak multiple languages, we really try our best, and it's really easy for us to even add more languages because we're just used to having to, learn the entire language as it is. So yeah, those are the ones I found I could actually post on YouTube. The rest were very, very limiting in their words and in their niceness, if I could say that, because I really don't want to have this kind of hashtags being used to attack people on a personal level. They were supposed to be jokes, actually. What I want this channel to move into is mostly my opinions. So while this was just a throwback, something that, reminded me of how I used to post those videos, those fun ones before, I want to go more into opinionative kind of discourse. My video cut off. It's about to go off. Let me end this video right now, but I'm working on more and more videos and more of opinions, sharing more of my thoughts and, and trying to just, make it a really nice space for discourse. So I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon, not more than a month, I promise. And bye-bye.